Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Time every series of videos I do for a little while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. Someone recently left a comment saying that they couldn't even make it 10 seconds into my video. I'm not even that annoying in the first 10 seconds. We'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? Happens to be my Puppet Master shirt. I love the design of this thing. It's so cool. You got Blade, you got Leech Woman, you got Tunneler, you got Jester. Pinhead's back there. Oh yeah. If you're unfamiliar with Puppet Master films, they're a series of sort of like mid-budget horror films that came out. I want to say maybe they started in the 80s, either 80s or very early 90s. And they still are technically running to this day, although they haven't put out one in a while. They're not all great, but the first like 5 to 6 are genuinely really solid films. Again, kind of low budget affairs, but really fun, really good movies. After that, it's shaky at best, but I'm happy that they're still continuing with it. I wish they would make better movies, but I do still love the franchise, and I proudly rep the shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts, actually. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? It has absolutely nothing to do with the one guy who went over there and made that comment, by the way. I just found that fucking hilarious, because literally before I was doing this this review, I read the comment, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, and then when I was watching myself do the review, I was like, 10 seconds in, I'm not that bad. I don't even get to the yammering bullshit part of my reviews. But anyway, I'm reviewing something else. Happens to be from, Buffalo Wild Wings. And I alluded to this review in my previous review. I just got through doing some of their teriyaki wings. And now, folks, I'm doing the namesake, which somehow I hadn't done up until now. I'm doing the original Buffalo Wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. I've reviewed so many Buffalo Wild Wings flavors at this point, I'm starting to run out of the interesting stuff. So as a result, I had to start going more basic. Now, with that said, I actually have an entirely new playlist called Buffalo Wild Wings Reviews. That's where this review is going to end up. That's where all my Buffalo Wild Wings stuff is gone. Let's get a thing for the thing. Like I said, this is the namesake. This is what they hang their hat on, folks. So it looks like that, and we'll go, ha 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 ha. Let's give it a go. I don't think I've ever had just their normal buffalo wings. I was kind of expecting them to be saucier. There's a little sauciness, but it's almost a little bit like a dry rub. Like, there's definitely sauce on there to some extent, but again, I was expecting like, more slathered in sauce, the way like the teriyaki wings were. Okay. Has a nice kick to them, actually. Like, it's one of those things, we kind of take for granted because buffalo sauce has become like so prominent, at least here in the United States. I don't know if it's hit the rest of the world yet. If it hasn't, it damn well should. But like buffalo sauce it's like a hot sauce, It's spicy, it has a kick to it. But depending on where you go, how it's applied, how it's done, that can vary greatly. I personally think the buffalo sauce should have a punch to it. It really should go over there and give you something to think about when you're eating it. And credit where it's due, these have that. It genuinely leaves a heat on your tongue. Now, as for the chicken itself, Buffalo Wild Wings chicken is fine. It's not like top quality chicken that you're getting, but yeah, the exterior tends to be crispy, the interior tends to be tender. That's basically what you're looking for. So I don't have any big grief with it. It's more than serviceable. And it does have that very distinct buffalo flavor. And if you've never had buffalo sauce, if you've somehow managed to avoid it your entire life, um, first off, I recommend stopping that. Go out and try something with buffalo sauce on it. But yeah, it's a very unique, tangy flavor to it. It it doesn't taste quite like any other hot sauce. You know, it remnants of it do. You know, it's still, I would say, it still falls sort of in that hot sauce family to an extent. But it definitely has a very unique, like I said, unique sort of tangy flavor. I have to say, I'm genuinely surprised, especially with these not being very saucy, at how prominent that heat is. Like, it genuinely really attaches itself to the tongue. Has kind of a pepperiness to it. That's interesting. Like, I was expecting these to be more flavor forward and less spicy, but it's almost a little bit the opposite. I would say it's probably 60-40 as far as the spice having a bigger impact than the flavor, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's unexpected. Let's see. And yeah, I mean, like, there's a little bit of sauce kind of on the bottom. I don't know if, like, are they supposed to be saucier? And maybe, I don't think that would be the case, right? But, like I said, there's definitely some sauce on the bottom. So I want to get one, like, with more of the gooey sauce, because I feel like that's the key to this whole thing. Let's kind of get this one, sort of slather it a little bit. Get this little nugget here. That's honestly more what I was expecting from the buffalo. It is interesting that they managed to sort of season the sauce into the chicken without it being slathered on. But with the actual sauce slathered on, it's more like the buffalo sauce I was expecting. It allows that buffalo flavor to, instead of being the 60-40, more of a 50-50 deal. Spice is definitely stronger, but the flavor is stronger too. So, yeah, I kind of wish they would have just sort of slathered it on. Like, I think that would have been my personal preference. All right, well, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get these again? Would I recommend them? Third question, are these good enough to be the namesake of Buffalo Wild Wings? Sure, and kinda. Because here's the thing, folks. You have to remember, I don't know exactly where Buffalo Wild Wings, well, I mean, I would think it started in Buffalo, but I'm not sure. I don't know how they started up, but I would imagine that at one point in time, they were probably like a single location place, and, they just built up from there and, became a whole thing. Unless they were like specifically a corporate built thing, I don't know. And I have to imagine at some point in time that their wings, especially their buffalo wings, were probably their bread and butter, and, that's the reason why it became the namesake. And in that regard, I'm going to be honest, I wish I probably had it back then versus now, but I don't mind these as buffalo wings go. Genuinely was impressed with the heat. Like, they're almost a little bit too spicy for what I kind of consider with buffalo wings, but not to an unpleasant extent. But enough so that, if I had, it'll be a little bit of a thing, because I've got 10 of them. It'll be a little bit of a thing, I'll have to pace myself a little bit, just because, again, that spice does really stick to the tongue. But I do like them, the flavor's there. I just personally wish that I would have just, again, I just would have liked it, with the sauce. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they didn't do that to preserve some of the chicken flavor or what have you. I don't know. I don't know the whole deal with it. But as far as buffalo wings go, I've had better. And as far as it being the namesake of the company, I've had flavors that I prefer from Buffalo Wild Wings over these. But these aren't terrible buffalo wings, so give it a little bit of a pass. If I'm recommending them, though, sure. If you're going to Buffalo Wild Wings, well, it's kind of the thing of, if you're going to Buffalo Wild Wings and you're getting the buffalo wings, I would imagine, again, you're the namesake, right? I don't know that they live up to that namesake reputation, but again, they're not bad buffalo wings. I've certainly had way worse in my life. These are, more than serviceable. They're like between a C plus and a B minus. It could kind of swing either way. They're not great buffalo wings. They're not terrible buffalo wings. They're good buffalo wings. So if I'm recommending them, well, I do think personally you could probably get better buffalo wings out there. And this is one of those things, kind of the same thing with the teriyaki wings. I'd kind of like to see, Buffalo Wild Wings maybe retool it a little bit. I'm not trying to be blasphemous or anything. It's their sauces, but 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over there, have yourselves a truly buffalo sauce-tastic rest of your life. Because again, buffalo sauce is fantastic. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your personal take on buffalo sauce if you've had it? Like I said, it's definitely, for me, it's all about the application. I have had some buffalo stuff where I absolutely adored it, thought it was some of the best tasting stuff I've ever had, whereas conversely, I've had it in other instances where I could barely finish it. So, it's such a powerful sauce, it can be pretty divisive, but yeah, man, let me know your personal thoughts and experiences with it. Anyway,